G'day guys, welcome to the Leagues Club podcast. We're getting ready for round 8. So we'll get into it. Before we get to the bets, we're going to recap what happened last week. So unfortunately, the Tigers couldn't get it over for us this week. The Eels, they just come in too strong. Mitch Moses back, just played an absolute cracker for a game. And the Tigers just gave up some late points, unfortunately. So no luck with me. But Smifey, talk about the ladder. How are we going with the ladder, mate?
Yeah, going good. You'll notice I'm not wearing my Storm jersey this week, though, because they suffered the defeat to the Dolphins. Don't know what the fuck's going on there, but no, we got our ladder bet, though. We made 3 weeks in a row. We had Storm to have 12.5 points at halftime, which they just got there with 14 points, which they kind of had me on the edge of my seat there. They scored within the first 5 minutes, then got another one, and then kind of stopped scoring, which, had me a little bit worried. And then, pretty even at halftime, and then they got done by the Dolphins in the second half. But great to see the Dolphins get a win, even though it was against my Storm. It was a bit of a mixed bag of footy all weekend, wasn't it?
Yeah, mate, it was. There were some good games, man. I can't believe the Bulldogs blasted the Rabbitohs 32-0. Like that was a big game that shocked me. Warriors at home still dominating. Like that's going to be a fortress to sort of keep an eye out for. What about you, mate? Were any games you liked?
Eels getting up. Even though I was against, you didn't get your bet on that game, but it was good to see.
Yeah, it was rough. They did play well. It was rough.
Start to gel a bit. Addo Carr got his double. It was good to see. And the Raiders game, that was good.
Yeah, like you said, Addo Carr got his double. Terrell Sloan, he got a double in the Dragons game. And Hudson Young, which 3 weeks in a row now, he's scored a double, which, we were saying earlier, I'm not sure what the date was, but Steve Menzies, they said on the broadcast, last player to do that in probably no one's done it in probably 30 years. So that's pretty crazy. And Sebastian Chris as well, on fire. He got a try again. He didn't get a double, but back-to-back tries for him. He's on fire at the moment. But yeah, mate, we'll get stuck into it, but we're going to get into the ladder this week because it's starting to get pretty intense, mate. What do we got for the ladder?
We are going back to Storm. They got the Rabbitohs, who are also coming off a loss. So a home game for Storm in Melbourne. It's battle of the two legend coaches, Craig Bellamy and Wayne Bennett. Look, I think Storm are going to be too strong for them, especially in front of the home crowd. I'm taking them at the alternate halftime line of minus 2.5 points for $1.48. So we're taking our $352.50. We're putting it on that at $1.48, which will give us $521.70. So we're getting up there. It's getting harder to put those bets on because that initial figure's getting bigger.
Hey, look, I've got the shirt on. I need to go and get a helmet soon because the way things are going, you're going to be at the moon soon. We're going to need NASA to help us get back to Earth because we'll be on
exactly
the moon.
right.
So
exactly
it's
right.
going well, mate. Like you were saying, it was Melbourne that first half. They just dominated and they just went home.
And they just
stopped. I'm glad you picked the right ladder bet this week. It was a finesse. That was the finesse spot you found there was Melbourne's alt point. So, this is the finesse spot again this week. So the ladder's going up again. The fifth rung, speak it into existence. It's going to happen.
That's it. Fucking oath.
But yeah, let's move on to my game. So I've decided to go with the Penrith and Manly game. So we got Penrith at home here. It's on Saturday night. It's the prime time game for Saturday. The total sits at 47.5. Panthers are 6.5 point favourites as well. I was looking at this game. I'm surprised that Panthers are this much of a favourite, to be honest. I know that Manly have had a couple of weak performances the last couple of weeks, but, I don't think that they're this far out underdogs, to be honest. I do like some markets for Manly, but I do have some stats to back these up this week. So Manly have scored over 22 points in the last two games against Penrith. All of Penrith's home games this year, they've let in 22 points or more. 22 points, and 38 points in their home games they've given up. So I'm leaning towards the Manly team total. It currently sits at 19.5 points, and there's only been two games this year where Manly haven't hit that total number. It was 16 points, and that was in their last two games. They've scored 16 points. So I'm taking Manly team total over 19.5. I just think that Penrith, they've got too many players filling gaps right now. Dylan Edwards was looking good last week. You can tell he is directing the defense, but I just think Manly are going to be able to get those points over easy. I always love Ola Kawatu for a try. There's a few movements around in that forward pack at the moment for Penrith. I think he could be a look for a try this week. I love him every week, to be honest. But you got to know when to bet him. I think right now $2.40, $2.60, that's probably not the right price. You want to wait for him to get around $3. But yeah, Manly over 19.5 points, $1.87, minus 115. That's the play. Moving on to the weekend, we had the late mails this week. We did pretty good. We hit a couple of our main plays, and we hit one try scorer, which was the big boy, Adam Fanua-Blake at $4.10. So, it was looking pretty good. This weekend, there's a few games that I like for the late mail. There's probably going to be, I know Smifey does, there's a couple looks in the Bulldogs game, Bulldogs-Broncos that we like. And I also might have a couple looks in the Warriors game. Smifey, you got any late mail looks, mate?
Yeah, mate. Like you said, Broncos, Bulldogs. I think there'll be a couple of angles on that one, and the Raiders, Dolphins. But yeah, that's it, guys. But thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Leagues Club podcast. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, give us a like. Make sure you turn your notifications on so you get all these late mail, because we have them every day of the weekend. And yeah, we'll see you next week. Cheers.
See ya.